Good evening. We're going to call this meeting to order. This is a work session meeting of the City Council of the City of Cape May, New Jersey. We are here in the Cape May City Hall Auditorium. It is Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. The time is now 6 p.m. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Under the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this meeting was sent to the Cape May County Herald and the Press of Atlantic City, and a copy of the agenda was delivered to each member of City Council and posted on the Cape May City website and Cape May City Hall Bulletin Board. Notice is hereby provided that Cape May City Council meetings are audio recorded and video streamed live. Live video streams are posted to the Cape May City website. The City of Cape May is not responsible if audio recording or live video streaming of a meeting is unavailable. Roll call. Councilmember Baldwin.
Here.
Councilmember Meyer.
Here.
Mayor Mullock.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sheehan.
Here.
Councilmember Yeager.
Here.
City Solicitor Gillenschwartz.
Here.
City Manager Vall.
Here.
Deputy City Clerk Dillon.
Here.
And we have Deputy City Manager Lou Belasco as well. Any additions or deletions tonight, Council?
Any additions or deletions, Council?
Can I put an addition on the agenda for a discussion item? I'd like to discuss the existing library and possibly, the future use of that.
Okay.
Maybe putting together a task force.
Great. Okay. Anything else, Council? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So next
City-
week.
City
Manager.
Manager, any
Manager
updates?
update?
Oh,
Any updates?
sorry, Mayor. Just a couple brief updates. The firehouse is coming along well. As you know, you've attended those meetings. They said by the middle of July we should have all the brickwork done, and so we're hoping that'll happen. Norman's beach dedication was very nice. Just leave it at that. We do thoughts and prayers are always with him and his family. Dune Fencing, people have asked me about it. It's back ordered, like many other things, for several months now. I'm not sure where it's being made. What we know is snow fence, but we call it for protecting the dunes. So it's been back ordered. We're hoping to get that soon. Gov deals, we got rid of several police cars and a lot of old equipment that we had to get rid of legally. And we did that. We had Gov deals auction last week, and we did quite well, best we could. It's found money, but we had to legally get rid of all this products. And we got rid of 5 vehicles. So, Ladies Garden Club, I want to publicly compliment on all they do for this community. They volunteer to keep things beautiful, the historic home next door, the post office. They helped Public Works with the advice on how to and what to plant to beautify the front of Convention Hall, which has worked out really nice. I can't thank them enough. And when I'm thanking people, I want to thank the fire police for the job they've done helping us over the last week. And they're always there when we have activity in this town. And God forbid if we had to hire more police just to cover all these corners, it would be quite an expense. So they do a really great job. 4-way stops, as council approved, is already installed. No incidents at Elmira and Broadway. Have new signs being made for helping the lifeguards out with the rock piles going out into the ocean. New big signs both sides. Keep off danger. Because we've had issues with lifeguards constantly pulling children and people off those rocks, and we don't want people to get hurt. At Harborview Park, we're looking at Public Works. We have an idea in the fall to maybe renovate that facility in-house, clean it up a little bit, make the neighbors a little happier. The gazebo you put over by the school, by the park, beautiful gazebo. We were thinking about something like that would be nice for the people in that area. But I'll keep you posted as we move along, before we move along, what the plans are in-house to try to straighten that out. They're really the highlights, Mayor. Over the weekend, only the one incident that you're all aware of with the bike accident. Other than that, everybody did well, thank God, and we move on. Middle of the summer, and we keep moving on. That's it.
Great. Thank you. City Solicitor?
I don't have anything tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. I actually did have one quick update, too. I mean, maybe an addition to the agenda. I apologize for being a little late on that. Just on the person who was hit by the bike, of course, our prayers go out to them. Apparently, someone ran through a stop sign, which is very sad. The lady was wearing a helmet, and we were told that basically that may have saved her life. So just a reminder of all ages, wear your helmet. But I think it does bring up, too, we all just went through Tuesday, July 5th, today. We just went through a very busy weekend, and I think it's a good time to reflect on what we can do to make the city a safer place to be and live. And of course, pedestrian and bicycle safety is so important. I know Mr. Yeager with the bicycle committee has really been working hard on that, and has been also looking at, frankly, some of the city-owned streets and speed limits. And if you wanted to give us a quick update on that at the beginning, that'd be great. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but if you would.
No, thanks. I'd be happy to. So, actually, what had happened is the mayor had a conversation with me some weeks ago and asked if I thought it would, what did I think about reducing the speed limit on many streets in this town? And I personally think it's an excellent idea. We have a large number of streets that are very narrow, and they're not marked. There's no speed limit signs on those streets. And by default, anywhere in this city, in any municipality, the speed limit is 25 miles an hour, which we all know is pretty insane if you're looking at a Corgi Street, if you're looking at even, the lower part of Franklin, below Columbia, if you're looking at Hughes Street. But it's not just those streets. It could go beyond that we really need to take a look at the speed limits in this town. The first thing that I thought of course, was that there are legal issues. I had a suspicion that, well, first of all, we're excluding county roads. We're only talking about this city, but I'm sure that there are restrictions that the state puts upon us in order to be able to do that, but it's not like it's impossible. I went to the city solicitor, and Chris was right on the ball. He said he would do some research for us, and he also enlisted the help of Vince Orlando, our engineer, and we have a small committee that we're putting together and hoping to get together in the not distant future and start talking about what exactly it's going to take to get some of the speed limits in this, the appropriate streets, the speed limits reduced. I know that there's going to be traffic studies involved, but I think if we're going to do this, we should do it on a large scale. We should cover everything at one time, and I think it's an effort worth moving forward with and make this place a lot safer. And just, I got an update today that we will be pretty soon, we will be doing restriping, which is sharrows for the, share the road with bikes, and for our crosswalks from Cove down to Ocean on the streets from Lafayette to Beach. So there will be a lot of activity in this town. Finally making some of the streets a lot safer, giving cars the idea of how they need to behave when they're driving on the streets of Cape May.
I think, speed limits are always important, but the most important part is enforcement. We can reduce the speed limit, but if we're not enforcing it, it's not going to make a difference. I think most people just want the speed limits enforced on what's going on the streets now.
Yes, yeah. I think that's absolutely true. I think there's a psychological effect of having this, especially if we have an education for the people coming into this town visiting, and for the residents that pay attention to the speed limit signs that we have. And I do strongly believe that even though Hughes Street doesn't need a speed limit sign on it, it just might be appropriate. I wouldn't doubt that we have electric bikes traveling 25 miles an hour on occasion, and they're supposed to obey the same speed limits that the cars do. So it's just an effort worth taking, I think, again, on a large scale in the town.
So
That's great.
just I'm sorry,
No,
Councilman.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was just going to say to all council, this was something that was brought up by Councilman Yeager after the last meeting. I reached out to our city engineer. First of all, the municipality has control over the speed limits of the streets that are under its jurisdiction. So Lafayette Street's county road. That process would have to go through the county. But streets like Hughes Street, Corgi Street, Yacht Avenue, examples of, sleepy residential streets that maybe 25 miles per hour would seem out of place to the neighbors mowing their lawns and things like that. So the way to do that is to do a traffic investigation, and our city engineer indicated that he's in position to, get a professional team involved in doing that. It would be up to the city to do that investigation, but, we can proceed on that if that's the direction you all want to move in.
Mr. Meyer, did you have a question?
I just want to make a comment as well. Mr. Yeager, I don't think it's necessarily out of your committee's scope to even make recommendations or suggestions that affect low-speed vehicles, motor scooters, electric scooters, electric bikes. Because, I see people not following the traffic laws mostly in the golf carts. And I see children on the very far back of the golf carts sitting without an adult who would, in a car, would be in a car seat, and they're bouncing on the back of the thing. And not to mention, if a car were to run into the back of that golf cart, there's nothing protecting those children. And I've always had, it might not be the best slogan or motto, but I've always had a motto for when you're coming to Cape May, you've made it. Slow down. You're not traveling anymore. You're here, relax, Cape May is supposed to have an attitude where time goes a little bit slower, when you're here on vacation, and that's how people should look at their vacations, not a chore or a rush. Just relax.
Maybe even a sign coming into Cape May that says speed limit is 25 and it's strictly enforced.
Yeah.
And then that way people realize that, because everybody knows going to Wildwood Crest or North Wildwood, that they're always out
I know
to make sure they follow the speed
The
limits.
county was looking at some markings, I'm hoping this week, they were actually, I think, supposed to do it before July 4th, on Lafayette Street, markings actually on the street itself to really get people's attention, big, bold 25, and you've seen these, where it's, from here to the chairs, 25.
That's what the county, excuse me, mayor is supposed to be putting that down, as he told us, I guess a week or so ago, that they were going to do that. They gave us a marked out all the areas they were going to do. But first and foremost, to me, has always been public safety in my life, and it's a good time to study this because, we always get incidents happen to wake us up. That people have to slow down. We have, like Shane said, we have so much conflict between the golf carts and now these motorized scooters and motorized bikes and the golf carts, and he's right. People complain about golf carts. They have the children on the back. They're not seat belted in. Next thing you know, one's going to bounce off, get really seriously hurt. So first and foremost is public safety. That's what we have to provide, and you guys are on the right track doing it.
Yeah, and I'm just happy you're going to take it on, because I know it's going to take a little effort, and there's going to be a variety of opinions, I'm sure. But I just have to say that a lot of the streets that I'm on, most of the locals, I'm sure most of us up here, even on your Village Green streets and the state streets, I'm not going 25. I'm going 20, and I'm really looking around. So the streets that are your main arteries, where people need to get to work and things like that, it's one story. But your residential streets, to me, I really could see go to 20 and without any problem whatsoever, personally. So I think it's something definitely worth investigating, and I appreciate you looking at that, Mr. Yeager.
We'll keep you posted as to what progress we make.
Okay.
There are not many streets in this city that are even marked.
No.
That's what I've noticed.
I think that's because it's understood
That it's a 25,
Right.
25 mile an hour default.
Yeah,
Right.
because they're all considered residential neighborhoods, so it's all 25, except for the county roads, which were higher, right, and they were lowered.
Okay.
But even that reminder sometimes, even if it's 25 or even lower.
Right.
It's, having signs out there, because people are speeding way beyond 25 miles an hour on a lot of the streets.
Okay, and then we had one other addition to the agenda. Do you want to bring that up, Councilmember?
Yeah, right now, we have the Franklin Street School that should be going under construction within the next couple of months. With that now, that's going to happen, we really need to figure out what the city wants to do with the existing library. I'd like the council to pull together a task force to determine what that use is going to be.
What needs we have.
What needs we have, have an assessment, maybe do some sort of a questionnaire to some residents, bring some things, some ideas forward. I think some of us probably might have our own ideas, but, there might be some things that we're not thinking of. So I think that we need to really consider everything.
And I think no matter what task force we put together, or committee, we have to remember that we have to advertise it
Yeah,
on the city
on the
website so
website.
that we can get participation.
And a variety. Yeah, perfect. Do you want to do that?
I absolutely would love to.
Okay. So why don't we put it, well, we'll let you prepare something,
I'll
and then we can
prepare
put it on the
Yep.
website, and perfect,
And maybe at the next meeting, we can bring it up again. That way
Right.
it'll be on the agenda so we can have people,
perfect.
if they want to
Yep.
discuss it too.
Okay. Any other comments on that? Okay. Ordinances for second reading?
Yes, Mayor, we have 471-2022, an ordinance amending Section 10 of the Cape May City Code to establish the position of associate non-voting membership on the Environmental Commission. And there is a public hearing this evening.
Anyone wish to speak on ordinance 471? Seeing none, we can close public comment. Do I have a motion to adopt?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call?
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sheehan,
Yes.
Councilmember Yeager,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes.
Okay, next we have the public portion on the resolutions only. Mayor, if we'd like to open it to the public for the resolutions listed on the consent agenda?
Do we have any public comment on the consent agenda resolutions? Seeing none, we can close public comment.
Would you like anything removed from the consent agenda this evening, Council?
Council?
175?
I
Okay.
have 176.
All right, all set?
Oh, never mind. Oh, you know what? Take 185 off.
Was that 185, Council?
185, please.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so on the consent agenda this evening, Council, we have Resolution 17307, 2022, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Cape May urging swift passage of S330, which restores energy tax receipts to municipalities. 17407, 2022, resolution of the Cape May City for indemnification of the city employee in civil litigation. 17707, 2022, resolution for release of maintenance guarantee for Cape Real Estate Developers, LLC. This is for 1022 Washington Street. 17807, 2022, resolution for release of maintenance guarantee for Cape Real Estate Developers, LLC for 1020, that is a typo. That's going to be 1024 Washington Street. 17907, 2022, resolution for release of maintenance guarantee for Scott Peters, formerly known as Ronald Sowers, for 825 Washington Street. 18007, 2022, resolution providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue into the budget pursuant to Chapter 159. This is for the Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Program for Kiwanis Community Park. 18107, 2022, a resolution providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the budget pursuant to Chapter 159. This is for the fiscal year 2022 Clean Communities Grant. 18207, 2022, a resolution providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue into the budget pursuant to Chapter 159. This is for NJDOT fiscal year 2022 Municipal Aid Program for Pennsylvania Avenue. 18307, 2022, a resolution providing the insertion of a special item of revenue into the budget pursuant to Chapter 159. This is for fiscal year 2022 Certified Local Government Grant for updating the design standards. 18407, 2022, resolution authorizing change order number 1 for the contract with Lafayette Utility Construction Company, Inc. for the Cape Island Creek Water Transmission Main Rehabilitation Project, Contract M4, and 18607, 2022, Resolution for the Payment of Bills.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sheehan?
Yes.
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Mayor Millick?
Yes.
Okay, council. We've got back to 17507, 2022, a resolution requesting the County of Cape May study and evaluate the installation of a traffic signal at the intersection of Lafayette Street, which is County Road 633, and St. John Street.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, the reason why I pulled this, I think as a council, we have to be aware and look at all different angles with this light that they want to be put at St. John and Lafayette Street. Because what this light's going to do is back up traffic into town. So it's going to back up towards Franklin Street, towards the mall. Because once they turn that corner there, it's going to back it up, because every time somebody comes, if we make it on a sensor, comes to Elmira, it's going to trigger it to change, and we're going to have an issue. And I also think that we want to maybe look at the fact of maybe having it blinking for maybe the off-season.
Definitely.
So that we're not having that constant backup on Lafayette Street. Because putting a light there, we're also going to be backing up traffic on Lafayette Street before St. James. It's going to be backing up there. That might even back it up further, because you're not allowing it to keep flowing to, because you're going to have it keep being triggered by people coming out of St. James. So I think we have to really take a look at it and look at all angles. I know we want to make it easier for people coming out, but at the same time, we have to keep in mind that traffic pattern and backing up traffic in both directions, even though we're trying to relieve the traffic maybe coming out of
Yeah, the Bike and Pedestrian Committee, by the way, expressed a great concern with that intersection after the park is completed, and was hoping that we would do some research on how to make that a much safer intersection. It sounds like your suggestions are right. I think it's very difficult to come to a good conclusion on that intersection. It's going to be a problem no matter what.
One thing I'd like them to look into as the county, I agree with everything you just said, by the way. One thing I'd like them to look into is, like they did the bump in front of the school, look at making a right-hand turn to St. James off of Lafayette coming into town. Because remember, there's going to be the parking lot there now that people are going to be pulling in and out of. It'd be nice if people could make that right turn onto St. John, just to look at. So I'd like to see that actually as part of this. But I think getting this study in and seeing what that says is a good thing.
I wonder if you could put an extended lane there.
That's what I mean.
That's
You know what I'm
Stop the
saying?
park.
Not
An
just-
an
yeah,
extended
yeah.
turning lane, because they can. We have the space. And as you guys know, as everyone knows, when you go to make that left turn off of St. James onto Lafayette, we probably could lose some of those parking spots that are to your
Absolutely.
left.
Safety.
Absolutely.
Now that we're putting in, 100-space parking lot, I think losing a few of those parking spots in front of where a turning lane could potentially be makes a lot of sense. Your sight lines are much better, and you already have the parking lot right there.
Right. Well, the other day I had a meeting with the deputy city manager. We were talking about some of the fine tuning of the Lafayette Street Park. And I mentioned the former committee wanted to have a stop there for the trolley because of the parking lot. And that's when he also said the same suggestion, that we widen that area to allow, maybe like 6 parking spaces worth of a lane that can turn in there. Right. But I think for the most part, people do cooperate with each other there, make space for each other, and they'll work with you to let you know that there's no traffic coming and when to come. But whether it's a light, no light, blinking light, we should definitely do a study there. And even though it may not be put into this resolution, we should make sure that these people doing the study should also look into other alternatives, like widening that road there. I don't know if that would be in their scope going into this. We just want to make sure that, they think outside the box and any opportunity they can.
Yeah, because one of my concern, though, is backing it up any worse by the mall, because you have the light there at Elmira that gets backed up coming, they come out of the mall area, and they get all backed up there, and I don't want to have that still backed up, being,
And it's going to be back up to Madison, too.
right, being backed up because of the other light. So now, I'm saying we had that light and that light that's causing that backup.
Councilman Meyer, just to point this out in the resolution, it says, whereas because of the location and the intensity of its use, the city of Cape May believes that it's in the best interest of public safety and general welfare for the county of Cape May to study and evaluate the installation of a traffic signal and any other appropriate measures at this intersection to improve safety travel and those roads. So I think that covers any other safety features to make it
Can I make a
easier.
suggestion, Mayor, based on this discussion? I heard circulation as a concern, not just, and I think circulation, safety, and travel are all kind of intertwined, but Deputy Mayor's concern was circulation, like making sure that in the off-season, there's blinking lights. So I think we could safely add at the end of the whereas and paragraph 2 at the end, to say evaluate the installation of a traffic signal and any other appropriate measures at this intersection to improve safety, circulation, and travel on these roads. So circulation would be a new word. And then, and you could say, including but not limited to blinking lights in the off-season and a turning lane on Lafayette as it approaches St. John. And they can take that, and just so they know that
What
that's what,
direction we want to go in.
that's what council was concerned with. Number one, safety, but specifically those items, and they can review and study with those things in mind.
I also want to point out, because of the infrastructure that we're looking at putting on there, the park and, possible buildings, parking lot, pedestrian traffic as well. So, all of that really needs to be taken into consideration as they're considering this study. It becomes a little bit more confusing than what we're just discussing here, because you're also looking at pedestrian traffic as well.
So
Pedestrian traffic.
And
improve,
bike traffic now going to the park.
And I think that parking lot, the way it's configured and how traffic should flow might also need to be a part of this plan.
can we add, let me just make a suggestion.
Future.
At the very end of what you just said, and any other appropriate measures at intersection to improve safety, circulation, and travel on these roads for both vehicles and pedestrians.
And can they consider the future improvements, I guess the draft future improvements of that site? Because that's going to weigh into a lot of the circulation as well.
Absolutely. The way people come in and out of that parking lot, where they can't.
The proposed improvements on that, on the corner of St. John and Lafayette.
And I know that Bob Church at the county is well aware that the city's in the process of planning for those. So I think that they want to get the study, or they were willing to do the study, was my understanding, with an eye towards improvements at the park eventually. So in other words, I think this is the beginning of the conversation with the county about what to do at this intersection, if anything. So if you can get, in my mind, I think you can get as specific or broad as you want, because this is going to necessitate an ongoing conversation with the county.
Okay, so are you suggesting an amendment to this resolution?
At least to include circulation, and then for both vehicles and pedestrians, and then,
Bike traffic.
Future plans for the site.
and with an eye towards,
Consideration, yeah.
right.
Future. Yeah,
I think that's important. I don't want to do this traffic study twice.
Right,
yeah.
Or do it and not work for what we end up doing with that area.
right.
Exactly, yeah.
And we have the final say on, see, it's a county road, so I'm not sure.
Based on history, yes, they've been pretty cooperative
Right.
with our requests.
I don't think they're going to want to go to the trouble of installing a light that nobody on this council wants.
Okay.
And that's why I think they're looking for feedback on that. So to clarify, just for purposes of making a potential motion to amend, we'll include the word circulation, add for both vehicles and pedestrians, and taking into consideration plans for the development of Lafayette Street Park.
Is that okay?
Do we have to put in there anything about blinking light or in the off-season?
Consideration.
Because I think if we don't have it blink in the off-season, we're just going to create
That, yeah.
traffic issues.
Consideration of off-season blinking.
Taking into consideration plans for development of Lafayette Street Park and off-season traffic signals.
Right.
I mean, look at the Beach Drive.
Mm-hmm.
We turn them off, County Road.
Yeah.
Do you want to say that one more time, Mr.
Sure.
Solicitor?
So we're adding circulation in the last whereas, and then in subsection 2, circulation again is added there, and then at the end of it, it says, for travel on these roads for both vehicles and pedestrians, and taking into consideration plans for the development of Lafayette Street Park and off-season traffic signals.
Does someone want to make a motion to amend?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions, comments on that amendment? Roll call?
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sheehan?
Yes?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Mayor Mellick?
Yes. Does someone want to make a motion on the amended resolution?
I'll make a motion to adopt as amended.
Second?
Any questions, comments? Roll call?
Councilmember Baldwin?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sheehan?
Yes.
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Mayor Mellick?
Yes.
Next, Council, we have 17607, 2022, resolution authorizing a shared services agreement with the Borough of West Cape May for the provision of uniform construction code services.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Questions, comments?
I pulled this off the consent agenda. I have a question on the actual agreement on page 2. It was underlined, so it was added under the services. I just want clarification on it. Is this additional work that we have a floodplain manager? And with that floodplain manager, is it something that we currently do? Is it something additional? How does that work out in their fee schedule? I'm not quite sure, because I think what we end up generating from this agreement is the permitting, and then we pretty much keep the fees from the permitting of the construction permits.
Correct. So the agreement with West Cape May is the fee schedule aspect is not changing. The prior agreement provides that West Cape May, they track our fee schedule, and we collect and keep all the fees. My understanding from the discussions that the floodplain manager was added not as something new that the city was going to be doing in addition. We've always been doing it. I think that the West Cape May was looking for that to be clarified in the agreement, that we were already providing floodplain manager services.
But wasn't the floodplain manager being paid directly by West Cape May before? No.
No.
So how are we compensated for the floodplain?
Salary?
Yeah, the salary for that.
Currently, you mean?
Currently, or, it's now added into this agreement. I just, want clarification on how that's going to work.
Yeah, since 2022, it's been a part of the agreement, and part of it comes down to West Cape May's code designating the construction official as a floodplain manager. So when we took on the UCC duties, we took on the other duties that were within the code. Our construction official does not have the floodplain manager credentials. Therefore, Jason Dilworth was doing it until Jason gave it up, and then I picked it up.
But we have a stipend, I think.
Yeah,
for
is
the
there a
flood.
stipend attached to it?
Yes.
So there is
Right,
a
so
stipend attached
I would
to
think
it.
almost that West Cape May should pay half the stipend almost.
Because the stipend that's included is for both Cape May and West Cape May?
No, his stipend
just
is just
West
for
Cape
Cape
May.
May.
It's just for Cape May.
So I'll point out that this current agreement expires July 24th. It's July 5th. We have another meeting on July 19th, potentially to consider this if there's questions about this and council wants to address that through like a proposal to West Cape May.
I didn't take a look at the stipend. Do you know offhand how much that stipend is?
$5,000?
Okay.
But there's nothing in the fee schedule. Everything's done from a
Permit-based.
fee schedule. So there's nothing in the fee schedule to cover this
Position.
floodplain manager.
No, except that I think the agreement, at least this draft, contemplates that you're charging the fees and collecting all the fees for West Cape May's project, so that those services were kind of baked into that fee. But council certainly, if you think that there's a better way or more advantageous way to frame that, we can.
Can I ask, has West Cape May ever paid the stipend in the previous agreement? I mean, I know
No.
obviously they had their own construction
What
service.
the previous agreement fee schedule is what's here is that we set the fees. If Cape May changes the fees next meeting, West Cape May is committed to adopt our fee schedule. So but that's uniform.
Once
So-
a year, I think, right? We can
Right.
do that once a
that-
year?
But there's,
Once a year.
but there's other positions that we share with West Cape May that we share the salaries with.
Correct, because there are stipends given for
Right.
specifically for West Cape May in the fee schedule,
Right.
in the stipend schedule.
Yeah, I think like with the courts, we share that salary.
So are we saying, let me ask one more. So this has been the same setup over the last few years?
No, the floodplain manager was added.
I do have a secondary suggestion.
Okay.
For all development within West Cape May, we do a flood development permit for all, in West Cape May and Cape May. There is currently no fee attached to those permits. So we could attach a fee to the West Cape May flood development permits to cover the cost.
Okay, so do we, because I think in the agreement, it states that we have to be uniform between the city of Cape May and West Cape May. Do we charge that for the city of Cape May?
We do not.
So if
But
we're
we
going to
could.
do, that I don't think will,
I think it's almost easier just to say there's a stipend
There's a
associated
stipend
with it,
attached.
I mean, because that requires a lot of education and certification, so it's not like they can just go out and find
Right,
somebody.
exactly.
We have one, which a lot of our people that work here have a lot of different jobs, and so now you're taxing them with other things, and they should be compensated for it.
So
we're not under the
just
gun.
in practice, has this been paid by West Cape May in the past or no?
No, it's been baked into the fee that,
Okay.
the fees that the city's been collecting.
So this would be a change if we were to ask them to pay part of that stipend?
To the current framework, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because let me just say this. I don't think 50/50 would be necessarily fair personally, because Cape May is a
It's
lot
about,
more
it's
than-
about 20 to 30% of what West Cape May does.
So we're not talking about a lot to be, I mean, maybe $1,000 or whatever. 20% of 5,000, right?
I don't know how much work goes into this position.
Well, but I'm talking.
It's a fair bit.
I'm not talking the,
I'm not trying to,
no, I know.
you understand what where I'm going.
I'm simply saying 20% of 5,000.
Right,
if
but
it's
again,
20.
that stipend might be, there might be a lot more work than is actually given, or there might be less work than is actually given as far as the,
No opinions from the other table,
I
but, okay. Well, so I guess the question boils down to this, and I'm go wherever council wants to go with this. We could table this, but it sounds like it has been in practice done the way it's written here. And we're, I think, basically talking about $1,000, because we'd be asking them for 20% of 5,000, right? Am I understanding that right?
we would either be doing that or finding out what the amount of time spent, and then
I
put a
see.
stipend on it for the value of that position. That's what I'm thinking.
So this is a negotiation topic with another municipality, so we would have the opportunity to go in closed session and sort of spitball this issue if council likes. I just wanted to point that out before we dive too hard into a discussion about this.
Do we want to table it and I don't know if
Here's my
I'd be
concern.
fine tabling it.
Here's my concern with that. We have an expiration of July 24th. The world's not going to come crashing down if we go beyond that, because if permits come in, we could process them on a per diem basis pretty much. But I would suggest to council that we, decide a direction on this so that we can get back to West Cape May, either this meeting or the next, so that both parties can plan.
We renew this every year, correct?
No, like 5, 4,
Oh, this
5.
is a
Yeah, it's a
5-year,
long-
okay.
yeah.
I thought the fees were renewed, okay,
This is a 4-year agreement.
okay. What do you think, Council?
Well, I mean, I also read in here that at any time it can be changed.
The fee schedule.
That's what
Right.
that's what I was thinking.
Well, I'm
right.
just saying, it's not like it's,
It looks like
it's not
almost
like it's set
quarterly.
in stone, you know, with,
But it has to be the same fee schedule as Cape May charges.
right.
What do you think, Council? Want to table it till the next meeting, or, my only thing I'm saying against that is it does not seem like we're talking about a lot. But if anyone wants to do it, I'm fine tabling it.
Well, the two options are, you have a complete agreement in front of you. There are some concerns expressed about floodplain manager and whether the city's being adequately compensated for that. And,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was
Councilman
thinking we could table this and ask our solicitor if West Cape May has any recommendations moving forward. We can bring that into our closed session discussion.
Well, I think the recommendation is probably, West Cape May would be happy with this right now because it's all baked into the fee.
Right.
So I think if the city's not thinking that there's another way to frame this, we either come up with a number or a proposal, or, this is the agreement. They would be happy with this, I think.
Let me ask this, is collecting the fee the best way to go with this? I'm just
Yeah, and
throwing
I
it out
don't
there.
know. I don't
Only
have enough
because
information.
I'm not sure how much work is being put in by our officials. Is it taking time away from their work within the city, which should be their priority? And are things not being done properly in Cape May because of this extra work from this agreement? And how much are we actually getting in fees per year? I'm just,
Well, my thinking is, we get in fees when it comes to construction, the percentage is going to vary from year to year. And I would say, I would recommend making a flat 50-50. We pay $250 or $2,500, they pay $2,500. Have our solicitor say that's what we're thinking of. If they want to justify why that's not fair on their behalf, I'd be happy to listen to it. But I think to just simplify it and call it 50-50, and not get into
2,500 is not,
details.
not,
Okay with that?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
And so I was going to recommend tabling it.
It's 1,000
Have our solicitor go say that we want you, the West Cape May, to pay 50% of that stipend. And if they want to come back with another offer, we'll discuss it in closed session.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Fine with me. You want to make a
That's
motion?
fine. Simplify it.
No,
Yeah,
it
it
does
sounds perfect.
simplify it. It
That's
does.
easy, yeah.
You want to make a motion to table?
I make the motion to table.
Do I have a second?
With that direction.
With that direction.
Yes, thank you.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Just to just to clarify, we are tabling until the July 19th meeting, Council.
Yes, correct?
Yes, which we anticipate to have a closed session.
Got it. Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sheehan,
yes.
Councilmember Yeager,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, we have 18507, 2022, resolution authorizing change order number 3 for the contract with Aurora Environmental, Inc. for the above-ground storage tank replacement project, contract M17, or M7.
I make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I asked this to be taken off the agenda. I should have asked you guys about this beforehand. I forgot about it. One of those things that pop up in my nightmares is the phrase above storage tank. And we've had so many years of issues with the ones over there in Public Works, contamination of the soil and whatnot. Is this
It's the same one.
It's the same one.
it's the same one?
Yeah.
Okay. And the old one didn't last as long as we expected it, or what was the situation with that?
It's the same
Is it-
project.
Sorry,
Still same project.
Same project.
This is
okay.
the same project from 2016.
16.
Okay.
I received the email, sent them to the clerk certifying that the work's been done, certified by the Superintendent of Public Works and the Superintendent of Sewer and Water, so they should be paid.
I just want to bring up, because I actually have here, Mott McDonald, his items for discussion for the projects they were working on,
What's the year?
2020. And why I'm bringing this up, I think the mayor here at one time said, this item is on the agenda, or on their list every year. It hadn't gone, so we're going back to 2020. And basically what they're stating in 2020, of October 2020, was project was substantially complete, that the contractors need to complete a punch list items. City decided not to install the fuel tank monitoring system. Electrical components of the generator tank feed can now be complete per project specifications. This is the one item that wasn't closed out. Contractor completed the punch list items, but did not notify engineer in advance. Final inspection is being scheduled.
I remember that now.
Yeah, that's what I thought, I'd jog everybody's schedule. Upon inspection and approval of final punch list items, final contractor payment applications and closeout documents will be processed. So it all came down to the final punch list being inspected so that they could get paid. And this was going back to October 2020.
Yeah, they were sub to Mott McDonald. I guess they worked under, and they had their own conflicts, but our guys at Sewer and Water, that said it was all done, and Public Works said it was done, so you got to trust what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, but,
They should be paid.
yeah, we were waiting for Mott McDonald to actually go out and inspect the punch list items that were not complete before they could be paid.
And to your point, this contract was awarded November 29th, 2016. I mean, it's crazy, and it's crazy to get these bills this late. I'll just add, we paid Lower Township our water bill from 2019, 2018 even. It was over $100,000 about a month ago. We paid $32,000, I think, 2 weeks ago to Pennsylvania Avenue for something that's 2-3 years old. And this is $13,300 for this above-ground storage tank that the project started in November 29th, 2016. So it's frustrating to pay these bills that are 4 or 5 years old.
But it should come down to that Mott McDonald was probably paid to inspect this. Or, and did they inspect it, and what was their thing? Because I'm sure we had paid them for this incomplete project to be completed.
But I think the answer is there's not a good answer. There was all of these issues.
Why are we getting an invoice then for work that was done, a couple of years ago, an invoice with today's date, or, June's date?
It was just being ignored as far as I know. I mean, I'm new to the game because I've only been here for 18 months, but as far as what happened, but I mean, and they're very cooperative with us. Right now, they're helping me out. The gas boy's been down at the gas pumps. They're helping us get that fixed and all the, I kind of feel for the guy. Apparently, there was a conflict with the prior engineer and the sub, and but my guys down there certifying to council that it's been done and they should be paid.
And the project is completely finished. Nothing else having to do with this.
The stuff they were responsible to do has been done.
Okay.
And
That
it was
makes
done
sense.
how many years ago?
Well,
2020.
Well, that's
2020. So
And we got all new players, the prior superintendent of public works, and I mean, sewer and water is different,
Did they submit an invoice prior to this?
I think they have in the past, and for some reason, they've been ignored by people. Like the mayor said, it is what it is, and I think when people are being honest with me and you, saying that everything's been done and they should be paid, that's all I could do is pass it on.
I mean, we want to pay these folks when they do good work and get it done. But I just want to say, all of these involve the former engineer, and it's just, it is what it is, has been said. We do want to pay people who did the job, but I think we all are frustrated when the last, I think, 3 council meetings, we've had some pretty significant bills that, I have to say, the Lower Township water bill, it's like crazy that we didn't pay that, so, anyway. Any other comments on this one? Do I have a motion? We have a motion, right?
A motion and a second if you're ready for roll call, Council.
Okay. Any other questions or comments before roll call? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sheehan,
Yes.
Councilmember Yeager,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes.
Any old business, Council?
Any old business? No? New business, city solicitor,
I don't have anything tonight, Mayor, thank you.
city manager,
No, sir.
city clerk,
No, sir.
Councilmember Baldwin.
Just a quick thing, the Beach Patrol and the Beach Safety Committee held its first annual open house about a week ago. It was wonderfully attended.
Great.
So the second annual, the refreshments that are being served, so make sure that you make it there. But there was really great demonstration projects from the lifeguards. They did a lot of, they've actually been schooled by a lot of lifeguard from around the country on how to, they were doing demonstrations on how to pull somebody out of the ocean. A lot of people were down at the ocean and really, taking a look at the amount of physical labor, how fit they have to be, how knowledgeable. I mean, there was just, it was a great day for the lifeguard and, headquarters really to shine. So it was a wonderful day.
That's awesome. Great job.
Yep.
Councilman Meyer?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just want to, based on the conversation we had earlier, I'd like to ask all members of the public who might be watching this video to just really promote what you think Cape May should be, to the people that visit Cape May. Tell them to come to Cape May, calm down, relax, you're here, this is why you're here. And let's promote that attitude, that feeling. I think that way we can help alleviate some traffic issues and things like that. And, to go on with what we're saying, it's important, life is number one, but slowing down also helps from the hit and runs that are going on in town. People's, their rearview mirrors get hit all the time and people keep driving, and I think if just slow down, your mirror will not be affected either, So, that's all.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
I just have one thing maybe for discussion at the next meeting. The city manager's contract will be coming up in December, it's be the complete year. I think we should maybe think about if we want to advertise and interview for positions moving forward.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right. Councilman Yeager?
Nothing tonight. Thank you.
Okay. I just want to say thank you to everyone involved. When you get to see behind the scenes for the July 4th weekend between our fire police, our firefighters, our EMTs, lifeguards, the police officers that really did a great, and Department of Public Works, everybody really shined this weekend, and I just witnessed a lot of great hard work, and just a sincere thanks to everyone. We had a good weekend and a great fireworks show, and we were blessed with some nice weather, so that always helps. So I just want to thank everybody for all of our employees who did a really nice job, and our city manager and deputy city manager. Thank you very much. All right, with that, we'll open it up for public comment. No? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Okay, the time is 5 to 7 o'clock. Enjoy your evening, everyone. Thank you.
I
Okay.